Hey everyone, welcome back. We're here at 3985 South Hudson Place in Chandler. We're here with my friends, clients, and the owners of this beautiful home, Anuj and Nisha. Thanks for meeting with me today.
Absolutely. We're so glad we got to be here with you today.
So guys, tell the audience a little bit about the story behind how we met. How did it all start?
So I think it started back in 2016. When I met Eric at an open house in Paradise Valley. It was really strange. I was not looking for houses there. I was driving in the area and I met Eric, and he was just so relatable. I was not even in the market for a house. I just love going to open houses, and I met Eric over there, and we just connected. I got his number, and about 6 or 7 months later, when I was in the market, I reached out to Eric, and he was just somebody who was very responsive. He was always willing to listen, and we made a lot of changes when we were looking for houses. We changed our areas, and Eric was always willing to work with us, and that was something very different about him compared to a lot of the other realtors I worked with.
What I always love is, so when Anuj actually met Eric, I actually wasn't in the picture yet. The reason we were even looking for a house was we had gotten married, and we were about a year into it, and we were like, okay, we're ready to settle down into a home. And when Anuj had picked our realtor, he had said I met this person a year ago, and Eric has continued to remain in contact. And so he's like, well, I'm looking for a home and I need a realtor, and this person's already in contact with this. Eric made it easy for us because he kept the connection going and the relationship. He made it easy for us to know how to pick our realtor.
So you guys chose me for the job, which I was super excited about. We got to work, we stayed persistent. Tell us a little bit about the story of South Hudson Place.
Yeah, so this was actually our fourth house. We lost bids on the first 3 houses. And it was, we started losing motivation. We in fact almost thought about just putting it on hold. But I think Eric was just, he was persistent in a really good way and kept us motivated, and worked out really well for us with this house. We had a great journey of even remodeling this house, and we look back and we're like, that was one of the best decisions we made. So.
And I think also, even though we got outbidded a couple times and had to see multiple homes, it wasn't like we were lucky in that it wasn't long. And I think that's what I mean by Eric being so persistent and continuing to follow up with new homes to look at, because it didn't end up being such a long, drawn out journey, thankfully for us. And I think Eric had a lot to do with that.
So you guys have really enjoyed the house. You lived in it for a few years, made some good memories, which we'll get to in a second. And as we sit here today, I said to myself, wow, this is amazing. You guys have completely transformed it. Tell us a little bit about that process.
So yeah, in 2020, we had this great idea of expanding the house, adding more livable square footage, redoing the kitchen. And we spoke about that idea, and the first thing I remember telling Nisha was, let's call Eric and let's get his advice. And I remember calling Eric back then. Eric came over because the idea was crazy.
I was a little bit against the idea. I was like, we might as well just get a new house instead.
Right.
This idea of transforming it and expanding and adding square footage seemed crazy. However, Anuj did always make a really good point, is that at that time we had a daughter. Her toys were just expanding, and we just did not know where to put them. And we were like, we have to find room for her because we just keep adding toys. And that was actually why Anuj had even posed the idea initially.
Right. So Eric came over. He ran through the idea. He gave us some really great design ideas as well. And then also, just not the design piece of it, just even the financial ideas of what we could do, and just worked out great. It was a tough project, but we were really happy with it.
Yeah, and again, this is another kind of thing with Eric, is that he continues to maintain the relationship, and we're gonna always go to Eric, or when we're ready to get a new home possibly, we'll be going back to Eric.
You guys are really special to me. You're always there. Whenever I call, you always answer. Whenever I've got an event, you guys show up. It really means a lot. I just want to say thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. You guys are great friends, and I'm glad we're here today.
Absolutely. I mean, Eric, you've become so important to us. You, Alicia, Skylar, I mean, we just love hanging out with you, and so it became more than just a business relationship, which I think is so important. And especially when it's something as big as your home. This is our safe place, our home, so we want someone who's gonna help us in this process, who we can trust. And of course, the fact that we've continued our relationship shows how much we trust you, and also we're very loyal to you, and so of course we want to support you as best we can. It's just been a very great relationship.
And Eric and Alicia have been involved. Like, we had our baby shower here. They helped us with all the decorations. So we've had a lot of important milestones together, and we really want to continue. Like, if we ever have to buy a new house, it's going to be Eric. So we absolutely we cherish this relationship.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys so much for your time tonight. It was a pleasure. We'll see you on the next episode.